So in 2022, Pro Football Focus made a chart of players with the most pressures over the past 5 seasons. And Aaron Donald rightly sits atop that list with 501 pressures. But here's the shocker. This beast leads the men in second place with 141 pressures. Like, how can there be so much gap between him and players who are regarded as this generation's sack specialists? And to think, there was a time when people thought he was going to be a bust?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there was. A lot of people, considered me undersized for my position, so there was a lot of doubters that think I wasn't going to have success in the league. But.
Man, it all sounds crazy now, but then again, Aaron Donald used to be chubby, lazy, and most of all, short. Which begs the question, how did this unbelievable transformation happen? Good question. And so in today's video, we'll be looking into how Aaron Donald went from chubby kid to NFL legend. Chubby kid from Pittsburgh. Aaron Donald was born in Lincoln, Leamington, Belmar, a bustling working-class neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Most of the people there understood the value of hard work, but this invaluable lesson was etched into his mind by none other than his father, Archie Donald. You see, Archie Donald also played football, but he just never made it to the pros due to numerous college injuries. But rather than be fueled by bitterness, he was determined to pave the way for his children to reach the heights he couldn't attain. So Archie Donald and Anita Goggins got together and gave birth to a girl, Akita, and 2 boys, Archie Jr. and Aaron. Now, Archie Jr.'s love for football was clear from the onset, but as for Aaron, no one could tell what he wanted. Quiet to the point of mystery, Archie Donald couldn't make up his mind about his second son. They dragged him along to watch his older brother's football matches where he'd cheer wholeheartedly for Archie Jr., but they couldn't tell if he wanted in. And then one day, his father heard a peculiar sound coming from the living room. The gentle rip of paper, like someone was making origami. His curiosity led him in. Guess what? Little Aaron, merely 3 or 4 years old, sat surrounded by torn scraps of paper. Each piece was uniform in size, crumpled into precise little balls, and carefully positioned. On closer inspection, Archie Sr. realized that Aaron was reenacting every play he could remember from his brother's matches. At that moment, a spark ignited. Aaron actually had a hidden passion for football. Archie was happy. He had 2 sons who loved football, and he could put his plan in play. But then there was a little problem. You see, Aaron loved Wendy's. Yeah, the little man loved going there to eat double cheeseburgers. It was an obsession. He just loved eating Wendy's cheese so much that he ate himself out of being a running back, which was what he really wanted.
Growing up, I always thought I'd be a running back, but I ate
Can't even be fair.
I ate my way out that position. So
this obsession would later lead to a setback when coaches moved him around to finally land him at the defensive tackle position. The little man was chubby, and when he complained to his dad about it, all Archie could say was, "You ate yourself at a fullback, Aaron. Too many Wendy's double cheeseburgers." Yeah, bro, can you imagine that? A lazy and snack-devouring Aaron Donald? But that was only the beginning, because not long after, he was taken to the dungeon. Dungeon-driven transformation. Today, a text from Aaron to his father sometimes reads, "You created a monster." Now, if you doubt that, then you probably really haven't watched AD play. Yeah, he truly is like a civilized monster, and his father had something to do with that. You see, back in 1991, the year Aaron was born, his father paid over $1,000 for a weight set from a retiring powerlifter. Those dumbbells and barbells would shape not just their bodies, but their destinies. It began with the simple instruction from Archie to his sons: watch and learn. But once Aaron was 12, his father decided it was time for him to get in on the action. So sometimes as early as 4:30 in the morning, the ritual commenced. Father and his 2 sons converged in the basement, aka the dungeon, for 2-hour workouts. At first, Aaron wasn't into it, but soon he found himself enjoying the changes that came through iron and sweat. And as it turned out, it all blossomed into an unwavering obsession with football and fitness. This was when everything changed. As a kid from the heart of Pittsburgh, Donald donned the colors of Penn Hills High School. In no time, he became the Iron Man of the field, a force on both offense and defense. All of a sudden, this chubby kid became so fearless that he never wanted to leave the field. He was fast, sharp, and strong. He was simply unstoppable on the field. AD's career during both his junior and senior years earned him an all-state selection, and ESPN rated him as a 3-star prospect. But even then, he only got offers from smaller FCS teams like Rutgers, Akron, Toledo, and Pittsburgh. Now, since his brother went to Toledo and he had some success there, many thought he would do the same. But never one to be predictable, the cheat code decided to stay home, enlisting with the Pitt Panthers of the Big East. Soon he moved from a backup to an impact player, and trust me, the ascent was rapid. He was doing it all: sacks, tackles for loss, everything. Everyone took notice of him, but even then, the best was yet to come. During his sophomore year, Aaron transformed into a defensive juggernaut, disrupting offenses and leaving quarterbacks with sleepless nights. The accolades poured in, from second-team All-Big East recognition to cementing his legacy. As Pitt entered the ACC for Aaron's senior year, the nation bore witness to a college football masterpiece. Opponents scrambled to shield themselves from Donald's onslaught, but he left his mark every single time. And so it was impossible not to honor him, and trust me, the honors were many. AD won a unanimous All-American, the Outland Trophy, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, the Chuck Bednarik Award, the Rotary Lombardi Award, and the Bronco Nagurski Trophy, which is given to the best defensive player in the nation. The only award that escaped his haul was the Heisman Trophy. Height can't hinder greatness. Now imagine winning all that recognition, and yet people still doubt your abilities. Indeed, in 2013, people were still skeptical about how he could perform in the NFL, and what was the issue? Well, he stood at a mere 6 feet and weighed 280 pounds. Simply put, his physique didn't meet the conventional mold of an NFL defensive lineman by a good 3 inches and 25 pounds. Therefore, critics really thought he was going to be a bust. Some even questioned his style of play, suggesting he conforms to a more traditional gap control strategy. They also predicted that many NFL defenses would struggle to work with him. How wrong they all turned out to be. Anyways, amid these doubts, Aaron's father then revealed his son's intention to enter the NFL draft just after his junior season. But that didn't work out after he received a modest 5th-round projection. So what did AD do? He chose to stay and continue his dominance, leaving a trail of obliterated opponents and battered teammates in his wake. But you see, 2014 came, and along with it, Mike Waffle, a football coach with a military background. Like most people, he too believed that there are traits that a defensive lineman must have. However, Waffle found himself captivated by Aaron Donald's game and considered him to be an exception. And so, Waffle passionately stood with AD and even called him the best player I've ever seen. So when the NFL draft rolled around, the Rams, although skeptical like many teams, were lucky enough to make AD their 13th selection. Unleashing chaos. From the moment Aaron Donald got into the league, he proved himself to be an offensive lineman's worst nightmare. He came way too prepared, having watched lots of videos on NFL Yards. Yeah, Aaron Donald is a fan. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe! And remember to like the video and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our fun videos. Okay, Aaron Donald really came into the league all guns blazing. But how? First, he earned the starting position in just 5 weeks and transformed the Rams' defense. Their sack count surged from a solitary sack per game to a commanding 3 or more per game, turning opponents into prey. The statistics painted a vivid picture of his prowess. In a mere 11 starts, Donald accumulated 48 tackles, 18 for loss, and 9 sacks. His achievements were rewarded with the title of Defensive Rookie of the Year, a distinction shared by only 2 other rookies who made their mark in the Pro Bowl. By that time, people had realized how much he influenced a game and nicknamed him the Cheat Code. No doubt, it was a befitting label for a player who suddenly transformed himself into the Rams' secret weapon. And worse, as the Rams transitioned to Los Angeles, his prowess only escalated. In 2017, Aaron Donald clinched the Defensive Player of the Year title, a crown well-deserved. 11 sacks and 15 tackles for loss within a span of just 14 games stood testament to his dominance. However, these achievements were but a prelude to the greatness that was yet to unfold. You see, Aaron Donald took things to a whole nother level in the 2018 season, setting an unprecedented standard for a defensive tackle. First, the Rams acknowledged his worth and gave him a groundbreaking 6-year, $135 million deal. This made him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history, a fitting recognition of a cheat code. Then, once he got on the field, he recorded a record-breaking 20.5 sacks, surpassing the previous benchmark for defensive tackles by an astounding margin. This feat was even more awe-inspiring considering he faced double teams on an astonishing 70% of his snaps. The Rams reached the Super Bowl, falling short against the Patriots, but Donald's brilliance shone brightly. He clinched his 2nd consecutive Defensive Player of the Year award, a distinction achieved only by Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt before him. His peers within the NFL named him the best player in the league, an honor virtually unheard of for a defensive tackle. The years 2019 and 2020 became a testament to his enduring dominance, with an additional 26 sacks added to his name. In just 7 seasons, Donald amassed a staggering 85.5 sacks, placing him among the legends of the sport. His 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award in 2020 further solidified his status as a gridiron titan. But one thing was still missing, and it finally happened in 2022. After making it to the Super Bowl final against the Bengals and helping his team to a 23-20 lead, Donald pulled out all the stops in the final seconds of the game. Oh, geez, dude flipped Burrow like a burger there. This beast has been the best defensive lineman in the world in the last decade, and he's 32. Do you think he could go on to be named the best of all time?